Welcome you guys today. You have to understand that every single day it starts raining. You must understand that no matter what's going to happen today is what? You must understand its growth. You have to understand that today is a nice beautiful day because why? I can still continue my nice beautiful content over here every single day. Understand that no matter what I can go and love my life every single day to do because I understand that my I is very important and I don't need other people to come and show me what to do and to live my life for I, because I understand that when I go live my I every single day, I understand that's why I'm always communicating with myself every single day, because I believe in myself all the time. I believe in my nice beautiful work every single day that I do. You understand? Because I always make sure to have a greater mindset. I understand that there are people walking past over here and that there are no people around me today, because I understand that either way I don't need them. You understand? Because it's raining today and there's also some other people doing street performance where I have to do it. So although I understand that either way, I'm always making sure that my confidence is much better than yesterday. I understand that's why I promote my name either way. I understand that's why I'm always doing much better than yesterday, because I always have something of interest. I'm always giving something of interest every single day. I'm always promoting myself with or without you, because I understand that's what's important every single day. I understand just keep giving the knowledge, whether it's raining or not. I understand that either way. I just cried recently because it started raining and I walked 30 minutes to get to the place and it starts raining, and I realize other people have taken my spot over there. So it's either way. I realize it's a free zone. I realize no matter what, I'm always promoting my name either way. I understand that either way I can also put my nice beautiful portrait on this side over here, and people who walk past can come and see my portrait too. You get it? So either way, they're going to be walking past this way, so they may catch a glimpse of who I am every single day, because I know myself, I know who I am, I know my I intent, I know that's why I'm so important every single day. I understand that's why I do my content every single day, regardless of if it's raining or not. I have a nice beautiful spot here, and if a security guard comes and says you must not sit here because it's the Department of Education and whatever, I realize either way I make sure to go and grab myself a nice beautiful spot somewhere else, and I'll sit and I'll do my content regardless of security guards and regardless of other people who don't like my God's work that I do for Jesus Christ every single day, which is for I do it for myself, so I can go and help people out every single day with their I, and to increase self-love every single day in the world, because I don't know what else is there to really speak about in life other than Jesus Christ's Bible every single day. Because you have to understand that the gift of life is make sure every single day you love thyself. I make sure every single day I'm always looking at myself, and I'm always making sure to go and do my content regardless of who's out there. You understand? Because I'm always making sure that every single day I always have more communication skills every single day. I make sure I'm always promoting my name one way or another, because I understand that you have to promote yourself, but other people don't want you to promote yourself. You understand? So what do I do every single day? I understand that I get away from other people as much as I can, and I go promote my I on social media. And I don't need you to come look at my content. I don't need you to come and watch my information. I don't need you to come and read what I have to give you. I don't need you in my life. I don't need anybody else in my life. I just love to come here and do my work. Otherwise, if you like me, otherwise it's because you like me. You understand? Because guess what? I understand that either way I give you what you need. Either way. I understand no matter what, or else it's your decision that you're here with my video today, because I understand that's what's important every single day. I understand it's making sure I look at myself in the mirror every single day and love myself. I go and do my work regardless of other people. I understand that there's some beatboxer out there who comes here to nice beautiful Sydney, Australia, and guess what? I realize he's beatboxing and there's a crowd around him. Although when I'm public speaking, I realize I get maybe a little bit of the crowd who may just come and approach I and have a talk with I in terms of one-on-one, but they all come and clap for him and everything. Whereas nobody claps for me in life except for I. In a sense, I'm always understanding that life is unfair like that, in terms of a individual who's pumping beatbox has 50 people around him, although when I pump my own music, I realize that nobody else gives a fuck. In a sense, so realize that music is music, and beatbox is just as good as music. Whereas my audio here deserves more than that. In a sense, so either way, I don't care if you guys give me your content or not. I realize I have all the content in the world in my heart right now. I'm always making sure that I do my content regardless of what's happening out there. I understand it's starting to rain as well outside of me, because I understand that either way I'm always looking inside. I never care about what's happening in the outside world and who is walking with who and why they're picking them over me. You understand? Because I understand that the crowd is always like that every single day. I understand that the crowd is designed to kill themselves. You understand? So I never kill myself. I only go where I need to go daily. I only go and promote myself daily wherever I love to go. I understand that either way, I'm doing my work. I understand that's what's important. So make sure you're always doing something every single day to understand that you're important today. I understand that either way, I make sure to complete 1 hour every single day of my videos. I make sure I'm always doing some video content every single day. I understand that either way, I love the attention that people give me. Because why? I make sure to go and find myself in situations where the crowds can look at me, because I understand that's how I develop. I develop in front of people. I understand it's much better to develop in front of people than to just do a video like this and have no people watch you. You have to understand either way, I'm developing regardless of them. So I don't need them in my life. I don't need to be in front of people in terms of other people to promote myself. I never need to be in front of them to do my work. I can do my work while I'm sleeping. I can do my work while I'm eating. I can do my work on YouTube. I can do my work on social media. I can do it here. I don't need to be in front of other people. Understand? I have high self-worth every single day. I adapt quickly. I understand that no matter what, I cried recently because why? I understand that it's working out either way. You understand? Either way, I'm always making sure I'm always in the present moment, because I believe in the present moment every single day. I'm always making sure that my mindset is much more than yesterday. So that's why I'm always much more of a fluent speaker. I understand every single day. I make sure to never waste time on street performance anymore in terms of just promote my name. I like to do something while I promote my name. Understand? I don't like to just stand up 8 hours a day and just show a sign. I love to go and speak for 8 hours while I'm showing my sign, because there's a big difference when you're public speaking for 8 hours and promoting your name at the same time. Otherwise you're talking for 8 hours, otherwise you're going to grow with the talking as well. So realize that if you're just promoting your name in terms of life, I realize that it's much better that somebody realizes that the one that's promoting their name and also public speaking for 8 hours on the street is going to grow far more than the one that's just promoting their name and not public speaking. You get it? So go and make sure that when you're doing a nice beautiful DJing events or some music and you're promoting your music on the street or something, that you also understand to just practice for as long as you want to practice and then go. And don't stand around. Don't stand around promoting your name extra. Although realize this, that you stand around in yourself, or like you stand around in yourself, but do something more than just stand around promoting your name. Otherwise, it's different when you understand that you're promoting your name only today with a sign, although I'm promoting my name with a sign and also doing music production. Don't just promote your name with a sign. Start singing while you promote your name with a sign. And also start doing some video work or audio work in front of the street, or do some comedian work, or do some acting on the street or something like that. Or realize this, I realize if they take your spot or something like that and it starts to rain as well, go and find yourself some nice beautiful space where there's no rain and continue to do your work every single day, and realize that communication skills is going to get you higher and higher throughout life, because I understand that's why I speak every single day. I understand that's why I'm always doing my work. I understand that either way, that you're tuning into this video because you want to learn something. I understand that I want to learn something too. I understand that when I learn something, I realize I learn my communication skills with or without you. I learn my communication skills with or without other people. Understand? Because I need But guess what? I realize that the politics today is designed to make you fall. And why is that? I realize because it's liberals versus Labour. Understand? So realize when it's liberals versus Labour, I realize it's us against them. And there's no such thing as that. You have to understand that when it's us against them, I realize that it falls into the category of number 2 in life. Whereas anything that's number 1 is the world is one. And liberals and Labour work together and not against each other. In a sense, to realize that politics is always against everything. In a sense, I realize they're against the laws of society and everything. Although, guess what? I realize they're against you. In a sense, I'm working with you. Although I realize they're never working with you. I realize they're working against you. I realize they're setting up laws and making everything much harder for you to succeed. Because they believe that you must go work for somebody else other than yourself. Understand? Whereas they say that if you don't go making more money in terms of plastic money, that you'll never have anything to live off of. Although guess what? I realize that's a lie. I realize that what's not a lie is understand that you never need plastic money to live. You have to understand that you need your confidence. You have to understand that politics today want to take away your confidence. I need you to understand that every single day that the politics today are always trying to take away your freedom. In a sense, so realize to get more freedom today is to do more content in audio and video and writing every single day, and making sure every single day that you're focusing on yourself rather than other people. But the politics of life want you to go and focus on other people rather than yourself, because they want you to neglect yourself and they want you to go and do the drugs like alcohol and cigarettes, such as 2020. You have to understand the year 2020 involves a lot of legal drugs today, where people can go into a store in Bottle or a alcohol shop and start getting some drugs for themselves, and that's what the doctors are prescribing all the time. Or they're always prescribing some kind of drug, because you go to the doctor and you ask, what is the problem? And then they give you the solution, which is a medication pill. But guess what? I understand that a medication pill is never a solution. You understand? So realize, either way, that you understand that politics is designed to give you medication pills and pain relievers and to give you drugs and alcohol while making you work a 9-to-5 job to do something that you hate to do. You understand? I realize that my kind of job and my freedom allows you to understand Jesus Christ, so that you understand that you love yourself more and that you work for yourself more rather than being against people, so that you understand that you can only lift people and never ever make them work for you, but make them work for themselves. Well, that's my system. Although I understand that every single day that everybody has their own systems. And most people who are in a 9-to-5 job are not teaching because why? Because they have low self-worth. And why do they have why do they have low self-worth? I realize it's because that the politics are making you have low self-worth. You understand? I realize, although understand that it's not their fault and it's not your fault. You have to understand that what other people do to other people is what you get. You understand? So realize that the politics, in terms of the politics, are also designing these laws for their kids too. You understand? So they want their kids to go work on 9-to-5 as well. You understand? Alright, so you have to understand that every single day you're always much more improving yourself and doing some kind of nice, beautiful self-education program for yourself every single day, because it's very important to make sure that you're always teaching somebody something. And that way I'm always making sure I have more ideas. I'm always making sure I'm much more in the mirror and looking at myself daily, because I understand that's what self-love is. I understand that's how I love myself every single day. I love myself in the mirror. I understand I always have love for myself when I have something more to say daily, because that's how I focus on myself. I focus on myself and what's happening with my eye today, because the eye trend today is much more important than anything else. So I focus on that every single day. I understand that's why I'm very much more of an important individual in my life, although I may not be important to you because you have family members who you may love more. Although guess what? You never love other people more than me. You understand? You never love other people more than me. I realize if you grew up with a girlfriend who is so sexy, I mean, don't love her more than me. I mean, just because you grew up with family members around you, you don't love them more than me. Because if you pick them over me, you'll also understand the politics side, and you understand why it's liberals versus, you understand them why it's liberals versus Labour. I never need you to go against me. I need you to be for me. I need you to understand that when you're for me, you'll be for you. Understand? So I need you to grow me and not be against me. I realize that politics is not growing you, but they're just against you. I realize they're just against you. I realize they just want you to go and work for them. I mean, they're not in it for you. I mean, they're not in it to help you grow. I'm in it to help you grow. I'm in it to help you understand that I love you just as much as I love my kids. I love you just as much as I love God. I mean, there's no difference. I love you just as much as I love Jesus Christ. Understand? So realize either way that Jesus Christ loves you just like God loves Jesus Christ, and just the way that God loves everybody else. I realize everything is equal. Although understand that I have a nice beautiful friendship with this woman for 10 years, and guess what? I realize she picked her man over me. I realize she said that you are not worth my time, so she picked somebody else over I. And why is that? Because I asked her something in terms of to see where is she in terms of her spirituality, and I understand that she picked somebody else over me. Although she's always picking somebody else over me. So I understand to never go there, because when somebody else picks somebody else over you, I mean, how does it feel? I mean, it doesn't feel good, does it? Well, that's why I'm always making sure to look at myself in the mirror and loving myself and everybody equally, because I understand that's what's important daily. I understand that's why I'm always loving my life all the time. I'm making sure every single day I always have more to say. I'm always doing something much more in return. I'm always giving more. I'm always loving my life much more. Thank you very much. Well, that's every single day. I understand every single day I'm always making sure that there's more in my heart to give every single day, because I understand that either way I'm always making sure to love myself more than other people. Understand? Because you have to love yourself more than other people. You have to understand that it's about attention. So when you're growing in attention, you grow it with it or without them. I realize that if the crowd doesn't want to see you ever, I mean, don't go to them. I realize if the crowd doesn't want you to teach them anything, I mean, just please don't go there. I mean, don't go where other people are trying to control you. I mean, if other people are saying that if you come here, I mean, we'll kill you. I mean, I'll never kill you. Although, guess what? I realize that if somebody's saying that they're going to kill you, I mean, don't go there. I mean, don't go where other people are going to kill you. Understand? I mean, don't go where the haters are. I mean, just go your road and go the peaceful road where you have no drama. So that road is always the no people road. I mean, go where there is no other people, but go where you are. I mean, go where you are every single day, and make sure you understand that every single day, that you must be the most important individual in your life every single day. So make sure you understand that nobody else cares about you except for you. I care about you because I'm growing you. I promise you, anybody who's growing you today is making sure that they care for you. And saying, I care for you because I care for I. And saying, so realize that most people don't care about themselves because they don't care about you either. You understand? Although, guess what? I realize you're going to teach yourself the most. You must understand that you love yourself more than I love you. You understand? You must understand I love myself more than you love me. You understand? So either way, you have to understand that I must do something for my life so that I can help you. Or is that when I help you, you can also help other people. You understand? And how am I really helping you today? I'm giving you some information and courage so that you can go and step up and do your own work every single day. I realize that the same kind of work in terms of how the Bible helps you today is the same kind of work in how I help you today. I realize it's the same kind of individuality. They understand that everybody must be original every single day and everybody must have their own stance in life. Although I realize that society is always rooting against you. I realize that when you look at pornography, for example, I realize it's always them going with other people and not you. I realize that when you look at people, I realize it's always them going with other people and not you. I realize that when you see, for example, anything in life in terms of the people you grew up with, I realize they're always hanging around with each other and not you. I realize, why is that? Because they're against you. I realize they love other people more than you. And so I realize that's not how you grow. I realize how you grow is a way that you understand you're growing everybody and you're understanding that you go and live people equally and you love people equally and not just because they are around you that you go for them. I mean, don't do that, you understand? Because guess what? You don't just go for anybody. You have to understand you go for those who can actually grow you and give you information and also help you throughout life to succeed. You understand? So realize that most women only go for materialistic aspects of life. Although guess what? I'll never give them a car. I'll never give them anything other than my wisdom today. Understand? I realize all that I will actually give them is confidence to go and increase their confidence. And that's that. I realize that's all you ever need. I promise you, most women say, most women will say that no matter what, that this guy has a jet and that he has a Ferrari and that he can take care of her because he has some plastic money. Whereas now, you have to understand that if you're that kind of woman who looks at that kind of world and you're the woman who goes that way, you understand that you're going to die and you're not going to have a life for yourself. Because guess what? I realize Jesus will never give you a jet. I realize Jesus will never give you a Ferrari. I promise you, Jesus will never give you a real estate. I promise you, Jesus will never ever take you anywhere other than making sure that Jesus will improve you through communication skills. And that's what I do. Whereas I understand that if a woman senses me now, you understand that I'll always improve you through communication. And that's my gift. Whereas if you don't like my gift of communication, whereas then you like my beautiful speaker. Whereas then you only go for me because of the speaker that I have. You understand? So if I have a speaker today, I realize that I can get you easily. You understand? Because I have a speaker, I can just shine a nice speaker at your face and you will also give me sex for that. You understand? So realize that most women fall for the speaker trick. And I realize they go for men who love the speaker instead of the men who can actually speak and lead. So understand that you never be one of those women and you never be a man who goes for another man or a woman because of their portraits. You understand? You don't go for other people because of their portrait and stuff and valuables in terms of the materialistic aspects like Ferraris and all that, because that doesn't satisfy you. I realize that doesn't lift you up. Understand? I realize that what lifts you up is making sure you understand my communication skills and I can get you into that kind of phase of your life. I can improve your life like that. Although I believe in myself so much that I never need other people to promote me anymore. I never need to count on other people ever for anything. I don't need them for what they have. I have so much value today that they just come and get from me in terms of my eye, because I understand how to grow my eye every single day. I understand that there are some trams going on around here because it's Sydney, Australia, although I understand that there were no trams here before, but guess what? It's a nice improvement that you understand that either way, that the outside world is not important, but what's important is inside and what's happening inside. I never focus on the outside world anymore. I never need to focus on them every day because I understand I focus on my eye only. I never focus on you, I focus on myself, I focus on my eye. Understand? So that's how I grow. I understand that every single time I say that's how I grow, I understand I always teach you something more. I always teach you something more courageous every single day. I understand that's why I'm always much more important. I'm always much more important than yesterday because I have to be much more important than yesterday. Otherwise, you have to understand that communication skills is everything. And those who have communication skills daily are the ones who are actually able to create a legacy for themselves. You have to understand that most people get trapped in a 9 to 5 because the governments and the politics want to screw you over. in terms of they don't want you to be more successful than the politics and the 9-to-5 job people. I mean, they just want you to work a 9-to-5 job and to just be a slave all your life for plastic money, because that's what they are printing. I realize they're printing plastic money so that you go work for printed money, in terms of, because they're making you try to work for plastic money. Although guess what, I'm never working for plastic money. Although I understand that the governments today are printing plastic money, and if you start to print your own plastic money, I mean, they're going to put you in jail. I mean, why? I mean, where's the freedom? I mean, why can you not print your own plastic money and start using your own plastic money and go around the world and be free? I mean, they don't want that. I mean, they don't want you to be free. I mean, they don't want you to build your own machine that's printing your own plastic money, because they'll put you in jail and the police will put you in jail and they'll say it's criminal. But they're printing plastic money. You see? I mean, they're printing plastic money and they're making people work for the plastic money. And they're governing society like this. And they're governing humanity through plastic money. And they're saying that plastic money is worth everything. Actually, plastic money is worth nothing. You understand? Although they're making people work the 9-to-5 for it. And then when people work the 9-to-5 for plastic money, or else their self-worth becomes small. You understand? Because they're saying that's what the crowd is doing. And they're saying that you must do what the crowd is doing. But you never do what the crowd is doing. You never work a 9-to-5 job. You never work for the plastic money. You never work to be a politic so that you can make the same laws. You understand? You never do the same laws in life. You do different laws. You do Jesus laws. You go work for Jesus Christ. And you understand communication skills, because you understand that Jesus Christ speaks communication skills all day long. You understand? So anybody who can speak every single day anything about communication are the ones who actually can lead the world. You have to understand that the more people can speak up, or else the more you can do. You have to understand that those who never have a voice are the ones in the 9-to-5 all the time. Or else they're doing nothing about it, because everybody else is trying to pin them down. Although guess what, I'm not trying to pin you down, or else it's all of them that are trying to pin you down. I'm only trying to increase you. I'm only trying to give you some favors. I'm only trying to give you some wisdom and courage so you understand the world around you, so that you can go and better forth yourself and love yourself more. Because if you love yourself, even if they put you in a 9-to-5 job, they can never devastate you. Now, if they put me in a 9-to-5 job, you understand that I never have to work a 9-to-5 job. I work for something greater than that. I work for my eye. I love myself. Either way, I regardlessly understand that I'm always looking good. I'm always doing something greater than I. I'm always making sure I do something much better than what's happening every single day. Although I understand I'm always focusing on something greater than a 9-to-5 job, because I have something much more to give. I have something much more to say. I have more confidence. I have more eye. I have my life forward every single day, because I'm always planning my life forward. I'm always doing something very construction, in terms of very constructive in my life, which is a construction of my life, which is Jesus Christ. I understand that everybody gets Jesus Christ confused, although never be confused in terms of love. I'm never confusing anybody. I'm never confused, because I understand that confusing anybody is stupid. You have to understand that if you're confused about life, you have to understand it's really never be confusing. You have to understand that if you're confusing, you understand how to lift yourself. You have to understand to go and really learn about what confusing other people is. Because if you're confusing people, you're really devastating people. And that's what the politics are doing today. And then making sure that everybody has something for nothing, in terms of nothing for something. Or else the politics don't want you to have nothing in life. But they want you to have nothing. I need you to have something. Although anybody that's a politic wants you to do nothing for something. I do something for nothing. I'm always the other way around. I'm doing something for nothing while they're trying to make you do nothing for something. And saying, although I understand every single day that no matter what, that other people will talk over you because they don't care about your content and God's content that you do. And so I realize that when people are talking on the street with other people, well, they don't care about you and what you're doing. And because what is important today is understand that they never care about you. You have to understand that my biological dad never cares about me either. You understand? I mean, that guy cares about nobody in life. You understand? I mean, that guy's taught by everybody around him to never care about for himself, and to never care about me, and to never care about anything. And so realize this, realize that I feel safer without him. I feel safer going alone and being with security guards, where I may understand that I have security around me to protect me in terms of some kind of fashion, than being with somebody who can actually stab me while I sleep. And so realize either way that I have a security barrier, which is, I understand I move away from them. I move away, which is 2 hours away, and that's my security barrier. Or else that nobody else is going to come defend you. Or they realize that I have security doors. I have security guards, which is a security door that says you must have a certain key to get in to my accommodation. And then you must understand where my accommodation is. and then you must pound the door open, and then you must break all the doors from the cabinets from where I live. You understand? Because there are 8 time capsules in terms of accommodation, in terms of where I live. Although I understand that if you understand, I'm always living inside. Although there are so many blockages for those people to kill me, because I never allow them to kill me. You understand? I understand that I make sure to go and allow everything. I make sure I allow everything. Although I understand I remove their situations on where they may be able to do that. Although I understand that when I say that, I never get anything in terms of destructive. I'm never dying. I'm never doing anything to never understand. Although I understand that every single day I'm always doing something very important. I understand that when you remove any barriers that's blocking you from success, you understand what I mean. I'm always succeeding more. So when I succeed more and more, I understand that anybody can come on the street and kill me. I understand anybody can do that. Although I allow it, totally. You have to allow everything to happen. Although, guess what? You also have to defend yourself. I mean, what kind of defense mechanisms do you have in life? You have to understand that anything that's a defense mechanism is understanding that you're protecting yourself in your eye and you're loving yourself. And if it gets to the point where other people want to destroy your eye, you have to understand that they never can. Because they can never destroy your eye. So never give them the power. You have to understand that it's really communication skills that makes you love yourself. I understand that when I write more and more and more, or else that other people can never outdo me. Because when I outdo them, I'm smarter than them. So even if they're trying to lead me astray, I can never be led astray because I wrote more than them. I do more than them. I'm smarter than them. I make more common sense than them. Understand? So if you're somebody stupid in life, or else anybody can convince you to go work on 9 to 5. I mean, it's so simple. You understand? I realize that when a kid's growing up today, in terms of a baby, I realize everybody's a baby. Although when we're growing up today and a baby's just born, you understand that baby starts to believe the world around them and believes anybody. And guess what? I realize that baby has to understand that it has to grow on its own. And then you have to understand that over lifetimes, you have to understand that when you reach 100, or else that your kids may pass away before you. You never know. Or else you may be the only one left in your family at 100 years of age, or 120, or 130. I mean, maybe you have grandkids and grandkids and grandkids who are with you now, but your actual son and daughter has passed away. I mean, it can happen. Although anything can happen. But guess what? I realize that the better my communication skills, or the more I actually make common sense. And that's why I understand that when somebody's trying to do anything to devastate me, or else they never can, because I understand my common sense theory, which is what I do every single day. I'm doing something that prevents them from ever killing me. Understand? Because I make more common sense. I have more communication skills. Or else if somebody says go drop off a bridge, I mean the stupid person is going to do it. Although realize that nobody's a person today, or else everybody's a divine being. Although understand that people who are stupid, you understand that anybody who's a divine being who is stupid, you understand that they will just jump off the bridge. And that's what most people are doing with the 9 to 5. I realize that they say you must go they say you must go work on 9 to 5 because everybody else is doing it, and what makes you so special? I mean, come on. I mean, what makes me so special? I'm not the crowd. And they say too bad, because we're printing money and you don't deserve the money that we work for. Or as I may say, I do deserve the money that you work for. And then they say, oh, so what makes you so special that you don't have to work on a 5 job, but we have to? Or as I say, I do Jesus Christ's work. And they say, that's not an answer. Or as they say, that's not an answer. And they're not doing that for Jesus Christ. You understand? I say, well, that's your problem. You understand? Although, guess what? I realize they're going to say, too bad, because guess what? I realize these are the laws that we put in place to make sure that somebody like your ass or you doesn't ever do nothing at home. Or else I say, I'm doing Jesus Christ's work though. I mean, how am I doing nothing? Or else they're going to say that we're printing money so that you can go work for it. Or else I say, I don't care about the printing money. Or else now they say, fine then. Or else don't work a 9 to 5 job, but we're not going to give you plastic money. Or else now you say, yes, I don't need your plastic money. Or else now you never have to work a 9 to 5 job again. Although guess what? Or else now you have no more plastic money. Or else now plastic money is worth nothing. Although guess what? Or else what are you going to eat today? Or else what are you going to eat? I mean, what are you going to drink? I mean, which accommodation are you going to live in? You understand? Because their laws are designed that you go work for plastic money so that you can have yourself a roof over your head, and so that you can go and have food and drink to eat because that's what they use. Or else they use plastic money. And if you don't work for the plastic money, or else then you have no plastic money. And guess what? You never work for plastic money in the first place. You understand? Although then realize this, or else those who never work in terms of the plastic money and the printed money, in terms of the printing of the money, you understand that then they may be homeless on the street, for example, and have nothing to eat, and have nothing to drink, you understand? And have no roof over their head either. Or else now, since they have no plastic money, or else now it puts you homeless, doesn't it? Although guess what? Or else they're printing money, aren't they? Or else they're creating the system of printed money. And if you go and create your own printed, in terms of printing your own money, and it's called, or else they're printing their own money, you have to understand that you can go print your own money. You print your own money, although they're going to put you in jail. You understand? So realize this, or else you never have to work a 9 to 5, although they're going to try and make you. Or else now, or else they may even say that, hey, I have to give tax money for you to get into a 9 to 5 job. Or else they're pinning you down. Although I'm never trying to pin you down. Although understand that either way, they're going to try to say everything under the blue stars so that you work a 9 to 5. Because they have to. Or else now, because they have to work a 9 to 5, or else they want to get you into 9 to 5. And then if you work a 9 to 5, you are just like them. You understand? So never work a 9 to 5. And you understand why you never have to work a 9 to 5. Or else they just work a 9 to 5 job. And that's all they ever do. You understand? So what do? I do something on the side, don't I? I do life coaching videos. I do comedy work. I do music production. I do something else. I increase my talents. I start to sing. I start to work on all my talents and abilities. And then I leave the 9 to 5 job altogether. Because I have something else that I do. I have something else that's very important for my life. So when I do that every single day, I understand that's why I'm very important. I understand that's why I never have to work a 9 to 5 job. But they say that you're just worth the 9 to 5 job. You're not just worth the 9 to 5 job, mate. You're worth something more. Or else they are worth the 9 to 5 job. Or else if they say that to you, you have to understand it's really that they are that. Or else they are trying to always make you work a 9 to 5 job because they're printing money. You understand? And that's how they do life. Or else now if you want to solve that issue, you have to understand to remove the plastic money altogether. Or else now who's able to do that? Or else somebody in politics is able to do that. Or else somebody in politics must remove all that money that's printed and forget the printing of the money altogether. Because printing money is not going to solve anything. Understand? Now you remove the printing of the money and then let everybody have their accommodations for free and also food and drink for free and transport for free. Now we solve a big issue. Understand? Now they want to keep printing money though. Or else now you have to convince them. And if you try to convince them, or else somebody out there is going to shoot you. Or else now if you try to convince people to never print the money, and then you suddenly make this change, or else somebody's going to come and shoot you. You understand? Because that's what they do, or else they're criminals. Or else they are trying to make you work for them. You understand? And as soon as you take away that, or else they are suddenly looking to kill you. Because why? Or else they're egotistical people. You understand? Or else now understand that either way, or else that those who are printing money are the ones who made the laws. Or else now they are the ones that come to shoot you. Or else now that's the Rothschilds. Or else the Rothschilds come to shoot you. You understand? Because they have all the money. Or else they have all the plastic money that's printed. In terms of the printing of the money. Or else they're printing all the money. You understand? So it's really either them, you have to understand that it's Rothschild. You have to understand either way, I don't care about them. You understand? I don't care because I care about I. Or else either way, I understand that no matter what, that even my conviction of I understands to always increase. Always increase my I, always increase the individual I am every single day. Although I understand that every single day, I'm giving more information on how to really do life. I'm doing it in my journal, I'm doing it in my documentaries of I, in terms of how I grow every single day and how I promote myself. And I understand that other people don't care about I. Or else they care about somebody else over I. Or else they don't even care about themselves, bro. Or else now I never say bro, I say brother and sister. I understand that bro is short for, or else bro is short for brother. Although I understand that either way, you must speak the truth. You have to understand that plastic money is not the result. And it's not the way of life. You understand? Or else what the way of life is, communication skills. Or else communication skills is the way of life. Or else every single day I'm communicating better and better, and I'm not stupid. Or else that when somebody's trying to lead me astray, I can see it straight away. Because I have communication skills to be able to see that. You understand? So I focus on myself every single day to understand that those who try to lead me astray is the ones that I stay away from. Whereas now, if you're stupid, you fall into a 9-to-5 job really quickly and you'll never ever do anything more. You understand? Because anything that's more communication skills will do more than a 9-to-5 job. You don't work a 9-to-5 job. I realize if they put me into a 9-to-5 job today, I realize that I never have to work a 9-to-5 job. Even if I work a 9-to-5 job, I never have to work a 9-to-5 job. I work on something greater than that. Understand? Whereas you never work about what they give you. You work more than that. You got to do more than that. Instead, you have to go above and beyond. You have to exceed expectations every single day. You have to do something that's really going to help you move forward. Whereas that's my face today. Whereas my face is today. Although your face must be something that you look forward to looking at. Understand? I understand that either way. You must never hate me. You must never hate my face. You must never hate anything in the world. Although understand you always must love equally everything that you see every single day. Understand that's why I'm always much more important. Understand that's why I'm always looking for more freedom. Understand many people are going and having kids today during the economic climax of this nice beautiful world. Although I understand it's a beautiful world. Although I understand that if you have kids today, you will be trapped. Although guess what? I'm never trapped. I'm never trapping I'm never trapping you. Although guess what? I understand that if you are somebody who feels more trapped, otherwise it's because why? Otherwise it's because of your communication skills. And so what do I do to improve my communication skills, you may ask? Otherwise every single day I'm writing more in my journal. I'm doing more videos about communication skills. I'm stepping up in front of people to communicate and to lead. Understand? Otherwise I never want to lead in the politics range. I let somebody else do that because their laws say that you must do 6 years of politics so that you can even go make the changes. Although guess what, if you make the change, or else you may be putting yourself at the risk of dying. So I'd rather do something else to live longer. Although guess what, I understand that somebody else can shoot me right now. And if they do, or else I don't care about anything about this world anymore then. You understand? Or else my work is done then. Or else if you kill me and I have 1,000 hours of videos, or else that's it. Or else that's my job. You understand? Or else that they killed Jesus too. Although I'm never dying. I'm never getting anything other than more in life. I'm never killing anything, and I understand that I'm happier because nothing is killing me in terms of my eye. Understand? I realize nothing can kill I in life. You have to understand that what you are is what you say every single day, or to understand to better your life through communication. And you understand why you're going to make more common sense. And then when you make common sense about your life more and more, you'll be more smart. And when you're smarter, you'll provide a better service. And when you have a better service, you'll gain the attention, you'll gain the popularity, and you'll understand why you're free. Because that's the only way. Whereas now more people are being created. And so more people are creating more people. Understand? Although guess what? I realize that the image of God is you. Whereas now either way, I realize that the future is now. I realize everything that's happening in terms of everything that's happening now, and I realize everything that's happening now in terms of happening now. I understand either way it's a word. I understand I go and grow from it. I realize anything that's being now is growing. I realize I'm always growing, although I understand that politics is not the way. I realize now politics is the way if you understand to just go there and do it and make the changes. Although guess what? I realize that I understand that if you go that way, I realize that somebody can shoot you. I realize now if you go the way of life coaching, I realize somebody can shoot you as well. So understand either way that people are violent. I realize people are violent. So if you're trying to make a change, I understand that either way, you have to understand Jesus Christ. You have to understand that He made a big change. And guess what? I realize they killed Him. I realize now because they killed Jesus Christ in terms of how did they kill Him? I realize now I understand that I'm never dying. I'm never getting killed in terms of I'm never getting anything other than more wisdom. I understand either way that I'm happier because nobody's killing I. Although I understand that either way. I understand either way that Jesus Christ is never somebody who's dying. Understand? I realize that Jesus Christ wants you to focus on how His life is, and that Jesus Christ passed away in terms of did He really? Whereas Jesus Christ didn't pass away either. You have to understand that either way. You have to understand that Jesus Christ is today. Although what happened with Jesus Christ? Whereas what is happening with Jesus Christ today? Whereas Jesus Christ saying that I'm still living in the wisdom of life. So stick to the wisdom of life and not into the external factors of how it happened in the outside realm. You have to understand you have to understand that Jesus Christ is talking today with everything through the wisdom of life. So understand that the wisdom of life is always teaching. It's always alive. It's always eternal. So understand that there is no death. Whereas there's no death in wisdom. Whereas there's no death in eternal life. You understand? So understand this. Understand this. I understand every single day. I'm always growing. I'm always understanding more and more. I always understand how to really communicate daily. I understand that those people who are running with other people have other people running for other people and not them. Whereas now, if you're running for somebody else, or that somebody else is running for somebody else and not you. You understand? Or is that somebody else who's not running for you is running for somebody else that's not running for them either. You understand? So people are chasing other people and understand that they're never going your way. Or else what way are they going? Or else they're going their way. You understand? So realize you never chase other people because they'll never go to you. I can never go to you. I have to go to I. I have to go to I. You have to focus on you. I have to focus on I. So realize this. Or else this is what is happening. You have to understand that every single day you watch other people, or else they're going their way. I'm going my way. You understand? Or else now it seems that everybody else is loving everybody else except you. Or else every single day you may go and see pornography, for example. Or else they are always loving somebody else other than you. I mean, why? You have to understand either way that they're going, or else they're going and doing themselves and not you. You understand? So realize you deserve all your love. You deserve to go do you also. So if they come your way, you go your way. You don't go their way. You don't go way. Or else if you come my way, I'll never go your way. Or else now I never even go your way in the first place, because I already have all the value to give already. So I only go where the value is. I only go where my I is. I only go toward I in life. I only go toward I. I only understand to go and increase my communication skills every single day on a video and love myself daily, and I understand that's how I really do life every single day. I do it in front of a video, I do it in front of an audio, I do it in front of communication. I understand that's what's important every single day, or else that's why I'm always living life. I understand either way that I just paused it for a little bit. I understand that either way, I never have to pause my video. I understand that if you pause something, you never wait for anything. You never wait for anything in the outside world to say that you're not important. I understand that is what I just done just recently, although I understand never again to do that. I realize I understand that when something outside of you tries to stop your work, or else it's because you're focusing on something outside of you and not you. Whereas now I understand every single time that there may be a police car driving, or else nothing is going to stop my work from happening. Understand? So I understand always to keep going, because that's why I actually cried before. I understand I cried before because why? Well, something outside of me is stopping me to do my work. Understand? Although guess what? Or else that's why I actually cry. Understand? I cry when somebody doesn't want me to do my work. Understand? Or else now I understand where I'm coming from. I understand when somebody doesn't want me to do my life and to do I, and they want me to do them, I start to cry then. Or else if you want me to do you over I, or else then I start to cry, or I start to get really upset. Or else if you want me to do your work and your line of work, and you want me to go and do travel photos because it's for you and not for me, I start to cry then. I start to cry, I start to get depressed. Although I understand I never get depressed. I never get depressing anymore. Understand? Because I understand it's the outside world that's trying to make me cry. Or else it's the outside world and the outside people who are trying to devastate I, and they're trying to tackle me down, and they're trying to reverse control into their direction. Or else they're trying to make me go to their direction. Or else they're trying to set up everything so that I fall. I never fall in my life. I only fall for I. Understand? And that's why I was crying before. I was crying before because it started to rain. I walked 30 meters. I walked 30 meters. In terms of, I walked 30 minutes to get to the place, and other people have taken my spot. Or else now I just move away. I went somewhere else. Understand? And then I realized it starts to rain. I walk for what? I walk for nothing, or else here I am. I'm still doing my content today. Understand? So why did I cry? I cried, although I'm not crying now. I mean, why was I crying? Because it's raining. While I was trying to do something for my work. Understand? Or else it's raining outside. Or else that's why I was crying. Because it's raining outside and I was trying to do my work. I was crying because why? Or else because other people have taken my spot. And other people are what? Or else other people are caring for other people more than I. Understand? Or else that's why I was crying. Or else it doesn't seem fair. Although I understand either way to go love myself, either way. And to just go somewhere else and do different aspects of life then. So that I don't have to stop my work. Because if I stop my work, or I start to cry then. I understand what makes me cry. I understand that now when these trams and cars are pushing by and I mean, I'm never going to stop my video ever again, because I don't want I don't want the outside world to stop me and my life. I don't want their sirens to stop my life, because I'm more important than the police. I'm more important than the police car. I'm more important than what they have in the outside world. You understand? I don't want to stop my work because they have this. I don't care about that. You understand? I don't want to stop my work. Or as I started to cry before. I'm never crying anymore, because I'll never let these trams ever again disturb my content. I'll never let anything else disturb me in life. You understand? I'll find a new place. I'll find somewhere new to go. I'll find something new to do. Whereas now, when something outside of you is happening, I mean, don't even focus on it. I mean, forget them. I mean, if somebody's killing somebody outside of you, I mean, forget them. I mean, go your life. I mean, go do your life. You understand? I mean, don't go saving them. I mean, if you save somebody who's getting killed, you understand then you may get killed. You understand? Although, guess what? I'm never dying. I understand that I'm happier because nobody's killing I in life. Understand? So realize that if somebody's killing somebody, I mean, guess what? I mean, that's not your job to do. I mean, that's not something that is your work. I mean, what is your work? I mean, focus on yourself and let them be. Understand? I mean, understand this. I understand every single day that whatever's happening out there is not important. You understand? I realize whatever's out there is not important. I realize what's happening inside of myself today is the most important aspect. Although in your case, no. Whereas what is in your case is that you're the most important in your life. I'm the most important in my life. So realize that if you love somebody else more than me, well, that's why you're going down. Whereas you're not supposed to do anything. You're not supposed to. You must understand to never love others more than me. You must understand that the outside world is not more, or else the outside world is not more important than you. Understand? I am more important than the outside world. I'm more important than the people that look at me. Understand? I'm more important than the sirens and the police and where they're going. I don't care about their direction. I understand they're going the 9 to 5 direction. Understand? I don't care about that. I understand that when they're trying to make you go work on 9 to 5, or else they're going to say that your Instagram is not the way. Or else they're going to say that social media is not the way. And then you must go and do what everybody else is doing. I never do what everybody else is doing. I don't care about what they say. I just go social media anyway. Because understand this. I realize everything outside of you is against you. I'm not against you. I'm here to lift you only. I need you to understand that every single day that life is going to tackle you really hard. Although guess what? You have to understand that you never make it hard. You never make it hard. You make it easy. You make your life easy. So focus on yourself more, and you understand why nobody else is more important than you. Or else that's that. Or else now, why does somebody else deserve a woman and not Jesus Christ? I mean, why? I mean, Jesus Christ is teaching, or else Jesus Christ is teaching more than that guy. You understand? Or else either way, understand this. Understand I'm doing far more work than Jesus Christ today. I'm doing far more work than everybody in life. You have to understand that I know my I. I know the I simple. You understand? I simplify everything. I'm simple. You understand? I'm simple about my life. You have to understand that when a guy reaches for a woman to push her away from you, you have to understand that it's because he loves her more than you. Or else he is egotistical, that you're going to take away his woman. You understand? Or else he loves the woman more than you, so he pushes her away from you. You understand? Or she pushes him away from you. I mean, why? Because they love that person more than you. Or else that's the kind of world you live in. Although guess what? You must understand to love people equally. You understand? I mean, never push other people away from other people. Because otherwise you're saying that you love other people more than other people. You understand? So realize this. Understand that no matter what happens, you must love yourself anyway. Understand? You must teach him not to do that. And you must teach him that I is everything. You must understand that many people are going to grab the kids and run away from you. I mean, why? Because they love the kids more than you. Or else that's no good. Or else because they hate you and they love the kids, you understand why they are less successful than you. You understand? I mean, don't run away from other people. I mean, go to other people and lift them. You understand? I mean, why are you so scared? I mean, why are you so scared that other people walking by next to your wife or husband? I mean, why are you so scared? You understand? Because you're not loving yourself as much as you want to. You understand? I mean, that's setting a bad example. You may be setting a bad example. You understand? So realize, I never set a bad example. I understand I'm always lifting the crowd around me. I understand that either way, that whatever's happening in the outside world, I mean, let it happen. But I'm never going to pause my video anymore because of a siren, in terms of a police siren, or because of a tram, or because something out there is disturbing. In a sense, so I'm never blaming the outside world for anything, but I understand that I never stop my work for anything. I never stop working. I never stop working my I. I never stop working and loving I for somebody else. Understand? Or else that's why I do cry. Or else I cry where I may be placed in a situation where others are trying to make me love them more than I. Understand? And that's called suffering. Or else it's suffering when that happens. Or to understand that you just never conform to them and you go your way. I mean, it's only your way that's important today. So understand that your way is I. I way is everything. I am always going the I way. I'm always going I way. I'm always going and doing I. Otherwise, it's raining outside. But guess what? I'm sitting here today. I'm promoting my Instagram, and those who just walk by can see me here. Because I understand that what's important today is this video and not them. Alright, this video is important today. Alright, now, what's important is I give you this information today. Alright, that's what's important for my life. Understand? Because I have to improve. I have to do my business regardless. I have to always make sure that I'm always improving myself. I have to understand that I'm always doing my work. Understand? I have to understand that my work is God's work. Or else my work is Jesus Christ's work. I understand that's why I'm so important. Or else that's why I'm so valuable. I never need you guys to make me famous. I never need you guys to wake up to me. Understand? I never need you to wake up. Or else you're going to do that on your own. Or else although I understand I have to wake up. Or else that when I wake up, or else I'll make you wake up to yourself. Although guess what? Or else you're going to have to wake up to yourself. Understand? Or else I don't need you to do anything for me. I don't even need you in this video. I don't need you to come and watch me. I don't need you in my life. Because I have I see what's more important than you. I see it's I. I love myself more than you. You understand? So realize that I'm here to give you some information. So if you don't like it, I mean, go somewhere else. I mean, if you don't like my information, I mean, just go somewhere else. I mean, that's the deal. You have to understand that information doesn't hurt people, or else that other people get offended by words. Or else now, if you're somebody who's getting offending in terms of you're judging words, or else to be offended by words is to understand that anybody who's offending anybody in life are ones who are judging words. In a sense, so never judge words, and you understand why you're going to be free every single day. You're going to be living your life every single day. You're going to be doing something for nothing. You're going to be understanding every single day that you have something to do. Because understand that what's important every single day is loving thyself. So understand every single day to come and do a nice beautiful public speaking program such as this. And I don't need you. I don't need you at my seminar. I don't need you anywhere other than you. I just need you to go your direction. Understand? Because I go my direction. Understand? So I'm leading that factor in life. Understand? I realize that either way you're here to learn something. Understand? Or else if you're watching up to this point, or else it's because you're learning. I'm teaching something anyway. I'm learning all the time in my life. Understand? Because I understand that they believe they're very smart people. I understand that either way, they are going their way. I'm going my way. Although guess what? I realize they are not loving themselves. I can see it. Although they believe they are loving themselves. Or else they're not loving themselves. I can see it. Understand? Or else they're believing in other people more than themselves. Understand? And then living life like zombies. Or else they look like zombies and they're believing in other people more than I. In a sense, to realize that I'm always believing in I more than other people. You understand? I realize that if somebody convinces you of something, I realize it's because you're weak. I realize if you convince me to come to your seminar because of something, I realize it's because of my I. I realize it's because you have something that I need. And it's that confidence and it's the driven aspects of life that make you who you are. And what is that? I realize it's called know thyself. I realize that's why people come to me. Because they have all the world to understand why I'm so successful. I realize they have all the world to understand that I'm so successful every single day. I understand that either way, I never care about how they judge me. You understand? I care about how I live my life every single day. I'm always rich or better. I always understand more freedom. I understand every single day that there is more passion in the world. and it's because I'm living today. I understand that the crowd in the past never wants to hang around they want to hang around with other people. I understand when I do a street performance, I realize that only a small minority of them really want to listen to a small minority only love themselves. Whereas anybody who approaches me and speaks to me on the microphone while I do a public speaking event on the street, such as a busking performance, are ones who are trying to lift themselves. You understand? Whereas everybody else who doesn't even speak to me does not care about living a greater life. Whereas anybody who shows up into my life are ones who really want to be like or else they're inspired by or else they're inspired by Danny Milivojevic. Although, is that my real name? Or else my real name is or else Danny Milivojevic is something I go by. You understand? I understand every single day that no matter what happens, that you must also follow your which is I. You must understand your intent. I love you. Or else that's everything. I understand every single day I'm always learning and teaching something on the go. I understand I'm always lifting people one way or another. I understand I don't have to do this nice beautiful content inside of my time capsule accommodation where it's Q-space accommodation. I never have to go there and do this. I understand I can go into Sydney, Australia, and go into the city somewhere and be under a nice beautiful pathway where there's no rain and do it. I can come here all the time and do it because there's no security bothering me. Although if they try to bother me, I just pause the video and I go across the road. I realize I just go there and do it. Understand? Whereas now, where is there? I just go here. I just walk somewhere in the moment and I go do it in a better place. Understand? I'll go find a better place. I'll go find a better idea. Whereas I am the idea that's better. I understand that my content goes every single day. I must do 1 hour every single day. Or else anything that's over 1 hour, that's my choice. Or else my choice is everything. Understand? Or else I have many people coming to talk to me. Or else I don't have to go to them. I don't have to talk to you if you talk to me. I don't have to talk to you in my life. Or else you got no value to give me. You got nothing to give me. You got nothing to give me. You understand? You got nothing to give me. Or else now, if you have something to give me, you understand that I already have everything. I already have everything on myself. Or else I already have everything by myself in terms of my life. If you have 1 million audiences and I don't, I always do anyway. I always do. I have 1 million audiences throughout the future in terms of the moment. I have everything. I don't even need your attention anymore. I don't need the crowds that you have. I don't need everything that you have. I don't need you. You understand? If you want to promote me, you can. You can ask to promote me, or else no worries. I'll come and promote myself. Or else if you don't want to promote me, or else please, just make sure you just never waste your time to talk to me then. Or else I have no time for individuals who just want to waste my time. Or else I only have time for people who want to promote me. I only have time for them because there's somebody who's lifting me, and if you're not lifting me, then you're just wasting time. I only need people who have an audience who want to really interview me. Or else if you want to interview me, you can always interview me. Understand? You can interview me, but I don't need you to interview me. I don't need you in the first place. Or else now, if that's something that you desire, to have me on your show or something like that, I can come. Although, guess what? You make sure that everything is accounted for in terms of that everything has in your life. I understand that everything is always accounted for. Or as anything that's accounted for is making sure that you always clear the path and go. Understand? Or as make sure that you must make sure that you understand every single day I'm always looking for a better way. I'm always understanding that my communication is that. I understand that I'm always very smart. I understand that some stupid fat guy may have a beautiful woman. Because why? Or else because he has some plastic money, bro and sister. You understand? Or else that guy has some plastic money, bro. Or else how about Jesus? Or else Jesus has no plastic money. You understand? Or else what makes that fat dude much better than Jesus Christ? What? Why is he having sex with a beautiful woman and not Jesus Christ? And now, I understand that Jesus Christ has something better to do than be fat, and then, or else, Jesus Christ has something better to do than be fat, and also, what? Or else now, what is be fat? I understand everybody is fat to some extent, although I understand that Jesus Christ has something better to do than to chase other people. Or else now, Jesus Christ will chase you to lift you up, understand? Or else Jesus Christ wants you to understand that every single day you look like Jesus Christ. Because how does Jesus Christ look? the size of muscles, or else the size of the muscles of Jesus Christ is how you must have your muscles. Or else how Jesus Christ exercises back in the day is how you must exercise. I mean, go and make common sense of it. In a sense, so every single day I'm always making more common sense of my life. I'm always making sure that what's inside is much more important, because I understand every single day that I live my life. Or else my life is never raining. Or else my life is always blissful and peace. I understand that anything outside that tries to prevent my work is where I may cry. Or else when other people are trying to traumatize me, or else that's when I may cry. Or else when I cry, or else it's because of the outside world. I never cry. I never forcefully cry. I never forcefully get sad. Or else if I get sad, or else it's because of the outside world. Or else it's because of other people and not because of I. You understand? So understand that anytime you cry, or else it's not because of you. Or else nobody likes to be upset in life. Otherwise it's because of the circumstance of the people around you who are trying to make you kill yourself. And that's why you may cry. Understand? So realize that if you're pausing your video content because of a police car that's driving by, you never do it, because that makes you upset. I mean, why are you putting them much more in terms of importance than you? I mean, who cares about them? I mean, just make it go throughout the video. I mean, don't pause your life. I mean, don't wait for your life to succeed. I mean, start continuing to speak and speak and speak and let it be. I have to find a better spot. I have to find a better spot than this in Sydney to do my work. But guess what? I realize it's from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the afternoon that I do this work. Because guess what? At 7 o'clock I realize it's night time. So I always have to find a spot where it's not raining. And I have to do my work as quickly as possible. So I found a nice spot where it's the trams, although it's just one video. Whereas I don't have to always do my work here. I can find my nice beautiful palace, or I can find my nice beautiful palace in Sodom. I can do my work anywhere where it doesn't have to be here. I can do it somewhere differently every single day. I can do something always different. I can always make sure I focus on I more than other people, because other people are not important for I. I'm important. I'm something much more than them. I live my life. You don't live my life for me. I walk my shoes. You don't walk my shoes. You walk your own shoes. Whereas everybody else is walking their shoes. But guess what? I realize most people in the planet are walking other people's shoes and not their own. Whereas that's called a fake facade. And that's called people who are lying to themselves and people who are cheating themselves out. And why is that? Because they don't know and they do not see. Whereas now I don't know either, but guess what? I know my I. I know I only. I know how to really see my I. I understand that when I know something, I only know I. But guess what? I understand that's why I live my life greater. I understand that's why I do much greater. I understand that's why I'm always living much more to the fullest. I'm always looking to live life to the fullest all the time in what I say and what I do every single day. I understand that's why I'm always different. I understand that's why I'm always making sure I'm giving you the audio content that you deserve every single day. I understand that's why I upload as much as I can every single day. I understand that either way, I'm always doing my work, I'm doing it on the street, I'm doing it somewhere, because guess what? I'd rather do it here. I'd rather do it here anyway. I understand either way that my life is always improving. I'm always making sure I'm doing more content than ever before. I understand now is the best time to do so. I understand this time round that you understand that my beautiful public speaking gigs also improve every single time. I understand every single time I do a street performance, whereas every single time I do a street performance, I'm always doing a greater job. I'm always making sure to do something that's really according to my interests every single day. I'm always focusing on myself more than others, because I understand that other people are not the way, or else they want more love from me. Although to give them more love, I have to focus on myself more than them. I understand that what love is more communication skills. And the more communication skills is what? Whereas the more communication skills is making sure that you love your life. Whereas loving your life means talk more and speak more and write more and do more audios every single day. Whereas every single day is life. Although understand that what's happening out there is not important. Although when they are trying to make you die, whereas that's when I may cry. You understand? I may cry when they try to make me die. You understand? Whereas that's how you may cry too. So realize that if you ever cry because you're sad, realize it's not because you're sad in terms of because of you. Realize it's because of somebody else. Realize it's because of the barriers out there in terms of how it happens, that you understand that you go and find a new place so that you can go and continue your work. Or else go and do you, rather than what's happening out there. Because out there always does make you much less of who you are. Although understand that you never have to sneeze in your work. You never have to sneeze on video. You can always pause your video before you even sneeze, so that you understand that you can sneeze and then continue your work. You can always continue your work. But never stop your work for other people. Never stop and never look at other people while you're doing your work. Focus on your work more than other people. Focus on your communication skills more than other people. I focus on the words that I say more than how the people look at me. Because I understand what's important. I understand making sure I grow. I'm making sure all the time that I have something to say and I have something to do every single day, because that's how I actually see life. I see life in a better way. I see life in a better idea. I give a better idea every single day. I focus on my life. I focus on the technology I have, so I understand that I can give you something that I need, or that I understand that either way that my technology is something that I have to learn about. You understand? Whereas my technology here has a nice beautiful video. Although I understand that each and every single time I upload on YouTube, I upload on 480 pixels, and I upload 480 pixels now instead of 360 pixels, because it has a little bit of better quality, because I understand that it makes a difference. Understand? Although I understand to find the most effective way to give you my content in the best time possible. So I never have to wait so long to upload a video online. I understand to give you the best idea in the planet. I understand to make sure that either way I'm always accounted for in a better way. So I'm always doing the accounting. I'm always making sure I look at my finances. You understand? Or else to account something is to give them. You understand? Or else when you give them something, you give them a blessing. What's a blessing? A parable, or a sentence, or a verse from the Bible, or something motivational, or something that's going to help them. You have to understand that anything that helps people is wisdom. I probably should just give them some wisdom, courage. Whereas now, you have to understand that either way, that most women today, or most men today, are going to go for people who have materialistic aspects. Whereas they love the materialistic realm. Whereas you give them a public speaking speaker and they'll have sex with you. Wow. that's a self-worth. Guess what? Communication skills is everything. So understand how to communicate daily. You understand why I always speak this way. I always speak in a different way. I'm always doing it differently. I'm always doing it different places in the moment. I always actually make sure that no matter what, I'm always looking at I, because I understand that's why I always grow. I grow thyself. I grow myself into oblivion to understand I'm always growing. Because I understand that either way, I'm understanding to grow and grow. I understand either way, I'm always making sure that what I do daily is very important. I understand that's why I'm always doing my work. I realize I do it I'll do my work whether it's sunny and whether it's raining, or whether other people have taken my spot in the street performance in terms of where I go, and other people are focusing on other people more than I don't care, because I still go do my work. I show up to do my work, with or without you. If you don't want to make me famous, I never need you to make me famous. I never need you 7.8 billion people in the world today to make me famous. I am something more than that. I am something more than the population. I'm already famous in my heart. I'm already something big. I'm already something much more than yesterday. I'm bigger than before in terms of more effectiveness. I'm always making sure I'm looking at the brighter picture. I'm always making sure I'm looking at something greater than myself. And what is that? I realize it's my eye. I realize it's something like Jesus Christ. I'm looking at Jesus Christ every single day. Because I understand that's where I am coming from every single day. I'm looking at the wisdom of life and how to give you that much more. I understand how to help people much more in the long run. I understand how to make people much more in the long run. I understand how to make your success and legacy and everything much more in the long run. So every single day I'm always looking for a better idea. I'm always making sure I'm digging into the ideas. I understand either way that you understand that emotions is key to public speaking, and those who understand high energy levels are the ones who are actually public speaking more. Because understand this, I understand that those who are really inspired by I today, I understand that you must be inspiring. You must understand I'm always inspiring, although if you're inspiring today, you understand you're more inspiring by I. You understand you're more making sure that you're convincing people of something, and that way you're going to achieve more and more greatness. Because what greatness is today is making sure that you love your life to the fullest. So making sure you're always focusing on yourself and never looking at other people, but looking at yourself the most, and understanding that you are more important than how somebody else looks like. Alright, that's the most important aspect. I realize it's just making sure that you love yourself to the fullest. Whereas now, every time I look at myself in the mirror, I make sure to go and love thyself. I make sure to come and do my work regardless. I do my work with or without you. I never need other people's attention. I never need their business. I never need what they have. I always find a way. I find a way regardless. Because I understand what common sense is. I understand how to make my life greater. I never need them. I never need those people who have attention. I never need those people who have 1 million and billion followers on the internet to promote me with. I don't care about them because my self-worth is more than that. You understand? I don't need to ask them. I don't need to ask them. I don't need to ask you for a favor. I already have all the favors in the world. I don't care how famous you are. I don't care if you're Sylvester Stallone. I don't care if you're Jesus Christ. Although guess what? I love Jesus Christ. Understand? Although guess what? I realize I never have to ask Jesus Christ for promotion. Although guess what? I understand that now I'm more like Jesus Christ. I understand that Jesus Christ gives me all the value in the world anyway. Understand? I understand that either way, I'm somebody who understands Jesus Christ. So when I understand Jesus Christ fully, or else, what does that make Jesus now? Or else now I can just go and lift up Jesus. I can just go lift Jesus up now. Because guess what? Or else do I still need Jesus? I always need Jesus. I always need Jesus. But where is Jesus now? Or else I'm Jesus now. Or else now I'll continue Jesus' work every single day. Understand? Although guess what? I never ever turn my back on Jesus. I never turn my back on you. Understand? I never turn my back on anybody. Because to turn my back on you is to turn my back on what? Or else it's to turn my back on I too. I never ever turn my back on I. Understand? I never turn my back on God. I never turn my back on Jesus Christ. But I carry it forward. I carry forward the work of God. I carry work now every single day in audio and video and writing every single day. I focus on doing my work every single day. Although guess what? I don't need anything else other than what I do today. Whereas what I do today is something greater. I understand what I do today is communication work. And that's what I'm always doing daily. I understand to focus on myself more than them. Because I understand I'm much more important. Although I understand every single day that communication is key. And those who have communication skills daily are the ones who are actually ready for more work. Or else they're ready to develop themselves daily. Or else they're ready to just make sure that they are giving more ideas daily. Because I understand that this is like a public speaking program. You understand? Or else it's the same aspect, although it's different. Or else it's a different situation. Or else it's a different scenario. Although it's building my confidence either way. Or else either way, I understand that my legacy stays forever. I understand that I'm always developing and giving my heart. So I understand either way that I'm always developing one way or another. I understand always to develop I understand that's why I'm always greater. I become greater all the time through my communication. I understand that's why I focus on thyself all the time. I understand that's why I'm always lifting I through more courage and ability to understand much more empathy and leadership and how to transform I into a greater I. So the only aspect here is just write your I out much more. I understand either way, or else when you watch my videos, I'm always speaking my IUQ rule. I'm always beginning with the you in action and the I and the question. I'm always asking that of myself because I understand that's where I live. I live my IUQ rule. Or else it's I and you and the question. Or else that's what my communication is. And I stick to that and I use my I in every single sentence. I start with my I or my you or the question. And I end with the I and you and question all the time. Understand? So either way, or else if you want to end with the best life experience, ask a question. Or else if you want to end with anything, start with the I, end with the you, and end with the I and you as well. And you understand that it's just the beginning again. Because there is no end. Or else anything that has an end is something that doesn't put themselves first. I always have a beginning because I'm always putting myself first. Because that's how I live my life. I live it through my I. I understand my I is very important today. I understand that's why I'm always leading my life to the fullest. I understand that's why I'm always much more motivational and I always have much more to do daily. Because I understand that it's important to give you this content daily. I understand it's very important to do so. I realize it's very important to understand that when I give you something, I give you something to improve you. I realize that's how I give an idea. I realize that's how I understand to go above and beyond about what I say. Although I understand now in terms of my mindset and how I can actually grow, I understand how I can actually see my life. I see my life through planning in a video. I understand that's how I actually grow. I understand that no matter what, that if you judge me and how I look like, I understand that's how you will never ever be more successful than me then, in terms of my eye. So I understand to never judge me, but judge yourself. Judge yourself. I never judge other people, but if I judge you based on Jesus Christ, and I judge you based on I. Alright, now, I judge you based on I and Jesus Christ. So that means that if you go fishing, I say, look at those idiots who are fishing for fish. I mean, Jesus Christ never fished in terms of, Jesus Christ is never fishing for fish in his life. You understand? Or as now, did Jesus Christ ever throw the net in? Or as no? Or as now, what kind of net? Or as now, Jesus Christ never goes to fish for the fish. I mean, why? I mean, that's his disciples that went and threw in the nets so that they can catch fish. You understand? Although, guess what? Or else that's not what it's about. Or else it's not about catching fish. Or else it's about making yourself a bigger one. You understand? Or else it's about making yourself something greater than the fish. I mean, it's about making sure that you teach yourself how to make fish. Or else now when you make fish, I mean, what are you making? I mean, you're making wisdom. Or else it's not about killing the outside world. Or else it's not about that. You have to understand that every single day, you have to understand that I go judge people based on Jesus. And I say, I mean, why do you even have a liquor store? I mean, Jesus doesn't do that. And they say it's legal. I mean, by what law? I mean, who's making up the law? I mean, they don't like that. I mean, they do not like that. I mean, they do not like that when you judge them based on Jesus. Because they don't follow Jesus. You understand? So they can kill you for that. Or is that if you go to the nice, beautiful police store today, and you say, I mean, by what law are you doing your nice, beautiful laws today? I mean, why are you doing those laws and why not Jesus' laws today? Or else they put you in jail right away. I mean, they cannot go against Jesus. You understand? I mean, if they go against Jesus, you have to understand they go against you too. Or else that is what happens. You have to understand that either way, you have to understand that if you go to the police station today and you put Jesus on them, they'll put you in jail. You understand? And why is that? Because they're full of ego. You understand? Or else if you go and start politics with Jesus Christ in it, they kill you. I promise you, they'll kill you. I promise you, somebody out there will kill you because you'll take away the printing of money. Or else you'll take away the printing of the money. And that's theirs. And what is theirs in terms of plastic money, and you take away that plastic money that they have, or else they'll come and kill you. Because they value plastic money more than you. You understand? So either way, understand this. Or else that if they try to kill me, I don't care about that. I'm happy to leave this world today. I'm happier to leave this world today. Understand? So either way, I'm always leaving this world in a better way. Understand? I'm always making sure that no matter what, I have everything I ever need. Because I understand that this life is not the life. But there's something better than this. I understand either way, I'll teach you what I have to give you, and I'll just make sure that my legacy is much greater, and that's that. Or else everybody has their own life in their own legacy. So if you want to have a bigger legacy than I, you have to do more videos, you have to do more videos than I, you have to go and speak more than I, you have to go do much more than I. Although I realize that I know I at 28. I said, I know I at 28, but I'm number one. I'm 28 in one. Understand? I know I more now than ever before. So the next 73 years and more, I look forward to teaching you. Although guess what? I'm only here for as long as you let me be. Or else now if you don't let me be, or else that means that you may come and kill me. Or else if you kill me, or else I'm happier. I'm happier to die then. Or else now if you come and kill me, or else that's what you're doing to Jesus Christ too. Understand? So I'd rather die like Jesus Christ too. Understand? Or else if you leave me no choice but to die, I'd rather die then. Understand? So realize that's what they do to the chickens in the sheds over there. And guess what? I realize they put 1,000 chickens in the farm and they put them together. And then somebody comes and starts hitting the chickens. And then they go into this cycle of this machine and they're on the machine. And then the machine just goes and splat on them right away and it kills the chicken. Understand? I mean, what are the chickens doing? I mean, they're preparing to die. You understand? I mean, they're preparing to die in that shed. And it's full of darkness and they're all together. But together they feel strong. Or they feel strong together. And then when somebody starts to smash them and to hit them, or else that's when they're all running to just survive and thrive together. And guess what? Or else they're just saying, just go and die. I mean, just go and die then. You understand? I mean, that's what the chickens are saying. I mean, just go and die because they're going to kill us anyway. I mean, that's why you're eating chickens today, huh? I'm a vegan. I never eat chickens anymore because I was taught by other people to go eat chickens. Because it's apparently healthy for you to kill chickens. So never kill a chicken in your life. And you understand why Jesus never kills you. You understand? I mean, you understand why God never kills you? Because God doesn't kill you to eat you. God always has food in the eye. God always has food given. You understand? Every single day, you don't have to kill to eat. You just have to learn more. You have to learn more about Jesus Christ. You have to learn more about how it is. I've seen some veganism going on today in Sydney, or as they've got the screens going. I understand that Anonymous Instagram is going on, but guess what? I understand it's veganism, and I agree with it. I agree to promote anything that's cruelty. Understand? Because when you promote cruelty, you also understand to overcome it. You have to understand either way that you go and never be cruel, but promote that other people are cruel. Understand? I mean, promote it and stand for it. Because when you stand that other people are cruel, just make sure that you're never cruel when you're promoting it. Because understand that what you promote is what you are what. I mean, you have to understand that you just understand that you're promoting something greater. Understand that people love to watch cruelty. Or else they turn around and see the pig getting hit and they love it. Or else they love to watch it. You understand? And then some people get transformed in terms of they're always transforming by that nature when they see some chickens getting killed and they eat a chicken. And they've seen some chickens getting killed though. In terms of they've seen some chickens getting killing, in terms of they're getting killed, in terms of dying. Although I'm never dying. I'm never anything other than more. I understand I'm happier that I'm never getting anybody that's killing I. Because I understand that nothing can kill I. I mean, not even you. Whereas if you're stabbing me, you can never kill my eye. You can never kill my eye, whereas I'm very strong. Understand? So nothing can die. Whereas nothing can die, whereas nothing can make you die. Whereas that you have all the power. You have all the control in your life right now. Although understand that every single day, you must understand your eye. You must understand to know the eye. So if they make you go one way, you go. Or I realize, although, guess what? I realize never make them take away your eye. I mean, don't cut your eye out, as Jesus says, in terms of Jesus Christ. Or else now, no matter what the world, in terms of the outside world is doing to you, or else they can never make you cry, or else they can never make anything sad in your life. You understand? I mean, even if they kill you, or else you still never die. You never die. You can never die in this lifetime, because what you leave behind, in terms of this lifetime, is what you have. Although you have eternity with Jesus Christ. You have to understand, I can see in the Bible too. Although understand that either way, that nothing can shake you, or else nothing can destroy you. Or else if you kill me, you can still never kill me. Because my content is still in the world. I love that. I mean, how can you kill my content? I mean, to kill my content is to kill yourself. You understand? I mean, if you take away my information, I mean, you take away yours then. Or else it's suicide. Or else it's suicide to kill my information. Because my information never hurts you. So you can never kill what you cannot kill. You understand? You never go killing something that you can never kill. So realize I can do anything, or that understand I never kill you. I'm rich or better. I understand I'm always understanding that I'm never in a killing of any sort. I'm never violence. I'm never in violence. I'm happier that nobody is causing me violence today. Because why? Because I choose to stay away from them. I choose to never go their way. I'll go my way. I'll go do something very important. I'll go do my work today. I understand that the crowd loves other people more than I. Because that's the crowd. That's what they're doing. You understand? I mean, just because they're walking together doesn't mean that they love each other. You understand? I promise you that many people walk together and they're all fake toward each other. I promise you, they're all fake. You understand? Whereas they're all acting like they love each other, but they love somebody else more than them. You understand? I mean, when you have 10 people and 9 people love other people more than you, I mean, what does that make you? I mean, that makes you more successful in the group. You understand? But I realize when you have 10 people and everybody loves everybody equally, I mean, that's something of high quality. Whereas now, understand this. I realize Jesus has disciples. And Jesus is the richest man of the world, because Jesus has real disciples and 12 followers of life who follow Jesus everywhere. In real life. I mean, imagine that. I mean, Jesus is the only aspect of life today, still, who has 12 aspects of life, including himself, who is 13, following Jesus around the world. I mean, now the only way to do this is go and adopt your own kids and teach them from a young age to a large age. And whatever's large is something higher in the number, that is number 1 only. So realize that the best number in the world is number 1. But age is just now, or else there's no other age than this now. You understand? Unfortunately, there's only this and now that you can only, or else that you can only just grow in. Or they understand this. Or else if you go and adopt 12 kids of your own, you understand why those 12 kids will follow you everywhere. And you'll be richer than the ones who are around you. Because you have 12 beings, you have 12 people following you everywhere, and they're learning from you. I mean, how many people are following other people in the planet today in terms of daily life? So when I go to the shopping center, I have 12 kids following me. I mean, it doesn't have to be 12 kids. You can have 54 kids. You can have many kids. Although teach them something and make them your disciples. I mean, today, Jesus is the richest for that, because Jesus has 12 disciples back in his time following him. I mean, how many other people are following other people in daily life? I mean, when I go to the store, you're coming with me. I mean, when I go to watch a movie, you're coming with me, because I'll teach you something. I mean, that's rich, huh? But Jesus has 12 disciples following him everywhere. You understand? Because Jesus says, you must go this way to send me a message. You must go this way, send me a message. You go this way, you send me a message. You 5, come with me, and you just go get the food. Understand? Because Jesus is teaching all of them how to do better in life. So get your own kids and start, or else you go and adopt kids. You have to. You have to adopt kids to have disciples. Because guess what? Or else either way, Jesus teaches that no matter what, you must love everything equally, and not your kids over other kids. I mean, love your kids just as much as you love other kids. You understand? I mean, love your kids and love everything equally, because that's how God loves us. Or else God loves everything equally. So the plan with me is go and get 15 disciples or 14 disciples or whatever. And I understand that my wife can be my disciple too. And I'll teach them all in one house. And we're going to grow together. And I have 15 kids and their families following me everywhere. Although eventually they're going to grow up and they're going to go their separate ways. But guess what? Or else they're always going to be there for me. You understand? I taught them something. Or else they're always going to be there for me. Because I was there for them. And I'm always there for them. Or else now, since I'm there for them, I'm never there for them. I'm there for I. And so I'm there to teach them something. Or they understand that they will always be more accountable this way. And they will teach me something too. Whereas now, when you're teaching kids how to grow up and teaching them how to love life, whereas when you give others what you've never had before, whereas now you're more graceful because now you have it. Whereas you have something to do. You have kids following you everywhere. You have people following you. And now I make 15, I realize I make 15 of the people I adopted in terms of who I am adopting. I make them something big. I understand they follow me everywhere, and I make a big seminar around them all the time. I understand I make something big, or else that's big. Whereas now I have disciples of my own. I call them my disciples. Understand? So either way, I understand I'm always accounted for, because I have other people protecting me too. I have something much more. But I understand either way that it's true leadership to do so, and it's true leadership to have your own disciples. So nobody else has done it, so I will. Whereas I either way, I'm adopting 15 kids in my life. I'm adopting 15 new kids. Whereas with my kids too. Understand? I'm adopting kids. So I understand either way, I'm always leading them. I'm leading everything. Because I love my kids that I have. I have my own kids. I love them just as equally as I love you. I mean, you're not even my kid, but I love you just as much as I love my kids. You understand? I teach you just like I teach them. Because that's what God does every single day. And God has disciples of the planet. I mean, everybody is working for God today, whether you like it or not. Because if you want to kill God, I mean, kill yourself today. I mean, you understand that you can never kill God? Because why would you kill yourself? And why do you kill yourself? I mean, Socrates, for example, went and killed himself. I mean, why? I mean, did Socrates kill himself? Really? I mean, Socrates never kills anybody. I never kill anybody. I'm happy that I'm never dying. I'm happy that nobody is killing I. Although I understand that either way, that what you are is what you attract. For sure, those aspects of life who attract something that's a tragedy and something that's really not going to happen, you have to understand that either way, they are the ones who attracted it. In terms of they are always attracting it. Although guess what? That's not important. Because what's important is the information they left behind. Whereas now that information that they're leaving behind is something that's really going to teach or else that's going to teach forever. Or they understand that sometimes anything that happens in the outside world can happen. Or they understand that the outside world is not important. Because what's important is go and teach your kids how to be disciples. Go and teach them how to be great. Understand? Because that's what you must be. And if you're not great, how are you going to teach your kids to be great? Or else how is my biological dad going to teach me how to be great? Or else now, my biological dad is great. I consider him a great aspect of life. Although he can never teach me anything. Much better. Although I understand that when you go and teach people who are willing to learn, you understand that my biological dad is never willing to learn from mine. Although guess what? I understand that either way, I teach him anyway. Because either way, he's not going to respond to what I say. But my disciples, in terms of who I adopt, they're going to follow me. Because either way, if you don't follow my rules, you then go somewhere else. And you are not part of the family anymore. You understand? Because that's how it is. You understand? Because either way, I love you all equally. Or I understand that if you don't follow my rules, I realize that it's made so that you be great. Whereas now, if you don't follow my rules, you go to somebody else who's going to make you great. I don't need somebody who doesn't want to follow my rules. You understand? If you don't follow my rules, why would I have you in my house? Why are you going to be around me for? You don't want to follow me, so why are you around me for? Just go, please. Just get out of my life. You understand? I realize the kids that I adopt, which are 15 of them in my life, whereas I teach every single one of them how to really live life. And if one of them doesn't like it, just go. Just get out of my life. It's that simple. I adopt another kid then. I exchange him really quickly. And if they want to come back, I let them come back. That's how I let them come back. Understand? Because that's how it is. Leave the door open. Understand? Because you'll learn something from that. Don't close the door on other people. Because that way you understand to never close the door on yourself. Understand? So realize if they want to come back after you kick them out, so be it. Let's just increase the disciples from 14 to 15 then. Because I'll get another one if the guy leaves or the baby leaves. Because guess what? I realize we're all babies. Every single day, you must always progress. You must understand that you must welcome yourself in a greater way. You must understand that if you want people to follow you daily, you must take care of them from a young age. You must understand that nothing grows old in life. Or else is Jesus old, or is Jesus not old? Understand that Jesus never dies. Understand? Understand to die young is what? Or else you never die in the first place. You never die. I want to be forever young. Understand? Because you have to be forever young in life. You have to understand you have to want to be. And then when you want to be, you shall be. Understand? But if you don't want to be, or else that's because what? Or else it's because you don't want to live life. Understand? So I never focus on these people who are talking around me because they don't care about me in life. Understand? Because what's important is I understand something. I understand that I love life. I love my life every single day. I've got something to say. I'm doing some content today. I'm doing some nice, beautiful content over here with my God, who is I. I've got something to say over here every single day. I've got something over here to say all the time. I'm very important in my life over here. You get it? I'm very important over here. Understand? Because I talk over them then. Understand? I talk over them because they're talking over me. Understand? So understand this. I never stop my work. Understand? I realize either way, I came here first. So if you try to disengage that, understand either way that I'm always doing my work. So realize that it's very important that I grow my eye. I understand that they're trying to cut me off. I understand that if somebody's trying to cut you off, or else you never ever get cut off. Or else now, if you get cut off, or else what? Or else now, understand this. Or else those who are just speaking around me now, or else they don't care about me. Do you see them? They're just talking over me. Or else now, what did I do? I talk over them. Understand? Because I showed them something. I understand that they're not egotistical to attack me. Although I understand this, that it's not a competition. Although I understand this, I understand that if I just silence up a bit, I understand that it's really that what? Or else I understand I never lost anything. I never lost anything in my life. I understand that they came to me to ruin my house. You understand? So guess what? I speak up. I speak up right away because they believe they can intrude on my life and talk above me. You can never talk above me in life. You can never talk above me. You can never talk above me. Understand? You cannot come to my house and order my life how it is. Whereas that's why I speak over everybody now. Whereas if you come to here and you say, this is my spot, or else this is my spot, or this is where I live. Understand? Or else I live in the moments. So if you want to take away my moments, please do so. You understand? I live my life. I'm free. You understand? Whereas now, those people are cutting my content off. Although guess what? I say I raise my voice. I speak louder now. So they understand that I'm speaking here. I'm very important. Or else if they don't like it, or else they'll attack me. Or else if they attack me, I'll let them. I'll let them attack me then. But you're not going to come to my house to tell my house how it is. You understand? You're not going to come to my house to order my life around. Who do you think you are? You're going to order me around. You're going to chase me. You're not going to chase me anywhere. Do you think I will run away from you? I'll never run away from you. If you're chasing me, I'll go directly to you. I'll look you in the eye. I'll say, you're not going to do anything that's going to disturb me. Understand? Because guess what? Because if people are trying to chase you away, you understand to never run away. Never run away from people who are trying to chase you. Man up. Did the chickens run away from the people who are going to kill them? No. Just man up. Let's die then. Then life is not worth living. But understand this. Understand that since they came to my house here, I'm speaking some audio to help you here. But they're trying to speak over the top of I about their life. I don't care about their life. I care about teaching something. So when I teach something every single day, I understand that I speak louder. I speak louder over the top of them. Because I understand to tell them that there's something more important here than them. Understand? Or there's something more important because they came to my house. I have audio playing here. So if you have audio playing in life and somebody comes to your house to play their audio in your house, you understand to play you start playing your audio even louder. Understand? Because that way they get egotistical and then they kill you. You understand? Although guess what? Or else that's the way. Do not let others intrude on your life. You understand? Or else other people are saying that they are more important than you. So pull up the audio louder than this. If they intrude on your audio, you understand why your audio is much more. But they will disagree. They came to your house though. They came to your house. You understand? Although guess what? Or else I had some nice beautiful Samoan people who intruded on my house. And they turned off the audio. And what did I do? I turned off the audio, I just left. I left. Because guess what? I'm smarter. I'm smarter to not die. I'm smarter to not get into a fight with other people. So I just left. You don't have to raise your voice with other people. You don't have to do anything with other people. Although understand this, have more courage. Have more courage to stand for your eye. Understand this. What I could have done with that Samoan guy, in terms of that whole group that loves Jesus Christ so much, you understand that they do not love me though. They turn up their audio over Jesus Christ. You have to understand, either way, I'm speaking about Jesus Christ and they turn up their rapping music over Jesus Christ that I'm speaking about. Whereas either way, I understand that I could have continued to speak. Although guess what? Or else it's not worth it. Or is it worth it? Or else it's definitely worth it. Or else it's definitely worth it. But guess what I said? I said, let them be. Because I can do my work somewhere else. You understand? I can do my work somewhere else. So I turn off my nice beautiful public speaking program and I go. And I leave. You understand? I leave. Because I don't have to be in competition with other people through audio. You understand? So either way, I understand that the outside world is trying to disturb me. And they're trying to get in my way. Or else they're trying to say that they're more important. Even these two people who are just walking by, who are man and wife, I don't know. But guess what? I know I. Or else they're trying to speak over my audio. And they're trying to dominate my audio over here. Or else they're coming into my house and saying that they're more important. You understand? So I'm always doing something much more fabulous every single day. I'm always making sure every single day I do something much more. So either way, I spoke over them this time. Because why? Because I'm developing myself over here. I'm important over here. Understand? I'm important. I deserve to live my life. So I raise my voice then. I raise my voice even more. And if they don't like it, or else they can shoot me. I'm ready to die. You understand? I'm ready to die then. You understand? So either way, or else what I could have done is pause the audio. And then what happens? Or else I continue doing my work elsewhere. I do my work in some other fashion. You understand? I do my work regardless of what they do. So that's a smarter way. Although, guess what? Or else Jesus can do the same thing. Or else anybody can do the same thing. You don't have to speak over them. I just spoke to, I chose to speak, I chose to actually speak over them this time. I understand that you don't have to. Or else, although if they come into your house to disturb you, you guess what? You never be disturbed. I mean, make sure you're never disturbing you. I mean, if you want to go in silence, you can go in silence and just make something else your work. I mean, adapt and do a different approach. I mean, it doesn't have to, you don't have to compete for audio. You understand? Although understand this, I realize that many people are going to try to come into your house and fully control you and your audio and what you do in your life. And you're going to have to do something about it. You're either going to have to either fight them off or move away. Or else now, if somebody gets a gun and puts it to your head and says, your name, which is I or whatever, and they say, you must move from this spot or I'll kill you. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, are you going to speak louder than them and say, this is my spot? Or else I stay here. I mean, they may shoot you then. Or else they may say, sorry dude, or else it's your spot, and they're going to go away. Or you're going to say, you have the spot, man. I mean, I'll just go do my work in a better place. Or else now, go do your work in a better place because it's a much better scenario. Although, what I could have done with these people who are speaking over my content here is I can pause the video. I can then just make sure that I continue my audio once they leave. But I continue my work. And that's a more safer approach where violence doesn't have to erupt. You understand? So I'm much smarter that way. So make sure that when somebody's cutting off your audio, such as these people or anybody in life, I never cut off your audio. Although understand that if somebody's trying to go into your house or cut off your audio sense or video or what you're doing, or they're pointing a gun to your head and they're saying you must leave, and they're saying that you must turn off your audio and that they are more important, I mean, just make sure that you're important and just go do your work somewhere else in terms of somewhere better, which is in the moment, or never wait. I mean, never wait for them to talk and never focus on them. I mean, continue to focus on yourself, but just do something else. That's growth work. I mean, go on social media, I mean, check out your social media and check out the world trends and start reading something while other people are talking over you. In a sense, so realize that if other people are trying to dominate you, or else they're trying to take over you, totally. In a sense, so realize every single day, you're going to do your life every single day, because understand what's important. Understand that most people are going to walk past you and they're going to look like you're important, although guess what, realize they're never going to say so, or else they're never going to visit you again. You understand? Because many people are fake. I mean, they like to look at you and never look at you again. You understand? Or else that's cruelty. You understand? I promise you. But guess what? I'm never cruel. I'm never cruel. Because I understand that if other people never want to look at you, you just look at you. I look at you never have to look at me. I never ask you to look at me. I just go and do my content and I just do my work. And now, if you love my work, well, that means you're going to become more like me, but just in your own version. And you're going to go live your own life. And you're going to go do your own life. But just never make sure, I just say this, I just say make sure that you never compete with other people who are coming to dominate your work and what you do. I mean, don't try to dominate them back. I mean, don't try to scream over their audio. I mean, don't try to go into their house and tell them how it is. I mean, don't try to force yourself upon them to live their life. I mean, don't try to go into their way of life. I mean, focus on yourself and understand that there are going to be people who don't care about your work that you do for God, because they don't even do God's work. Understand? So realize that everybody, to a certain extent, is doing God's work. Although, guess what? You have to understand this, that you're honest. Although, guess what? You must understand that every single day, you're going to be much more important in your name, so that you can go and grace yourself, and so that you can understand that every single day must be important. You understand? I understand every single day I do something that's much more. I understand that's why I focus on myself much more every single day, because I focus on my life. I focus on what I have to give. I focus on how my area of life is going. I focus on my audio, but I never have to go disturbing other people when they're disturbed I. Or else nothing disturbs I never have to get disturbed. I never have to raise my voice when other people are talking over me, because it doesn't feel good. You understand? Or else it doesn't feel good to start competing for audio. I never love to compete with others, so I just pause it then. You understand? Whereas now with my nice beautiful police regiment over here, where the siren went off, or else where the siren went off, or else that's another inclusion of saying that something else is coming into your house and trying to make you less important than them. You understand? So realize this, or else you never be offended about it. I mean, make sure you're never offending yourself about it. I mean, make sure you're never judging it as something that's trying to tackle you down. Although understand this, that it's really trying to destroy you. You understand? But never let it destroy you. So what do? You just make sure you speak up. You speak up, or you just go do your work in a different way. And now what's another way that I can go and do my work where I don't have to be disturbed, in terms of I don't have to be disturbing I through my work when there's a siren of a police or ambulance or firefighting drill going on? I mean, I pause the audio, I then go on social media and I start to do something else. Or I start to go and write something down. I'll write something down, I'll go do something that's more important. Understand? And then once it goes off, in terms of goes away, I continue my video. You understand? But did it disturb me? Or I say no. I say no because I didn't let it. But if I talk over the police siren, or else it still doesn't disturb me. You understand? So I just talked over these people who are talking over I, or else it doesn't disturb me. Or else there are people walking over here and talking, or else I talk over them because it doesn't disturb me. You understand? Because it doesn't disturb my eye. But if I let it disturb me, you have to understand, then I may pause the audio and go do them instead and follow them around. So I never follow them around. So what do? I just talk over them. You understand? Or else if you're in my face over here and saying rah 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 while I do my content, I'll pause my audio and I'll just go somewhere in a better place and I'll go do it again in a better way. I'll move away from you because you're somebody who wants to disturb my life. You understand? So realize that either way, I understand that many people are walking past today and they're talking, but I don't let it disturb me because I talk over them. You understand? Whereas now, if somebody is talking and then I talk over them to do my content and they come and kill me, or else now that this world is never even worth living then. You understand? But guess what they did with Jesus? Or else that's what they done with Jesus. And guess what? Or else now, Jesus, what? I mean, Jesus what? I mean, Jesus is still alive, although they hung him to the cross and they hurt him. You understand? Or else they hurt him. For what? Because Jesus is doing Jesus' work and Jesus is loving Jesus, and that's why. You understand? And if they kill you too, of course you understand why you also die like Jesus. You understand? But guess what? You never have to die. You always live because Jesus always lives. You understand? I understand that I'm always understanding more and more of my grace and what I have every single day, because I understand that every single day I'm always different about my communication and what I do. I understand it's always different in terms of what I say and love and do. I understand that I don't pause the audio every time somebody speaks in terms of who walks past me. I mean, the trains, in terms of the trams, are walking past and going past and making noise. I speak over it because it doesn't bother me. Whereas these people do not bother me in terms of life. Because guess what? Or else they're speaking over me and my audio. And then I speak over the top of them. You understand? I have a right. I have something that's much more. And now I'm not right for it. I'm not wrong either. Although I'm just growing. I speak over the top of them. I have a right. I have my own rights. And what is my own rights? I realize it's just growth. But I'm not right about anything. I'm not wrong. But I talk over them so that I can grow. Or else if they don't like that, or else then they will kill me. And that's what they've done with Jesus. I promise you. Now, if you're Jesus Christ, I realize I never kill you because I understand you're growing. But guess what they've done with him? You understand that either way, that Jesus is alive. Because Jesus is alive in the eternal life of life. But understand that if you're trying to end Jesus, you understand that you never tried to do so in terms of anything that is in the outside realm. So never try to say anything that Jesus was killed or something like that. You understand? But understand that if you're talking past tense, you can say Jesus was killed by other people. You understand? Because now it makes sense. But guess what? Or else, is Jesus dead today? Or else Jesus is still eternal. Or else Jesus still has content that Jesus is still alive in. You understand? So that's the eternal realm of life. Understand that if you only ever be in the Jesus was killed section, I mean, are you really learning? I mean, no. I mean, that means you're stuck in the past if you just stick to the past tense. Or else you never stick to the past tense and understand to grow. But if you speak over people, I mean, nothing will disturb you. Understand? Or else now, what disturbs God today? I mean, nothing. I mean, nothing can disturb God because God's the silence. I mean, God is the silence. So what is speaking louder than silence today? I mean, how big is the silence today? I mean, go into the galaxy. I mean, is there silence over there? You'll find some silence over there too. Understand? You'll find silence everywhere. But no amount of sound can overcome the silence of life. I mean, the silence is always coming back and saying God's stronger than you. You understand? So realize that if you want to kill God, or else that's because you want to kill yourself. And understand that those people who in the past who killed Jesus Christ are the ones who killed themselves too. Understand? Or else they're the ones who die. Or else I never die. Or else I have nothing to kill. Because I never want to kill. I never desire to kill anything. Because I'm always growing. I'm always leading with my heart. I'm always leading the individual I am. Because I understand no matter what, that I'm always living my life to the fullest. Although I understand that I'm always doing my content the best way. I understand that when I do my content the best way, I give you the best aspects of life every single day. I understand I'm always doing my content with or without you. Because I understand what's important. I understand I'm always doing my life. I'm always doing something that is graceful. I'm always doing something that's really worth it. I understand I did my 1 hour today. Or else I do 1 hour and 51 minutes and more. You understand? I do a bit extra every single day, but 1 hour is my goal. I always achieve my goal. You understand? Or else if you make 2 hours every single day your goal, or else it's a bit more difficult to achieve it. But I achieve my goal all the time. So I set goals that I achieve only. I only set realistic goals that I can achieve. You understand? So when I achieve those goals and I exceed expectations, like this video, I understand I become happier. But if I set a 2 hour goal today and I finish at 1 hour and 52 minutes, I realize I never achieved my goal then. Or else then it's disappointing. And then I would be upset. You understand? So I achieve something that's going to help me to achieve greater goals, and I set goals that I can achieve. So I can be happier. Or else it's much happier. I'm much happier when I can achieve my 1 hour every single day. But if I discontinue this video because I achieve 2 hours, I realize now I never do that because I want to achieve more. But guess what? Or else if I set 2 hour goals every single day to complete 2 hours of video content and I go away from the video at 1 hour and 52 minutes, or else it's just 8 minutes away. And that's a disappointment. Or else then it's a what? Or else it's really saddening. And it doesn't feel like I anymore. And it doesn't feel that I can do it. You understand? So understand that you achieve goals that you can really achieve. I mean, set goals that you can achieve. I mean, whatever your goals are, just make sure it's not plastic money. I mean, just make sure it's not other people. I mean, don't make other people your goals. I mean, make yourself your goal. I mean, make something greater than yourself a goal every single day. I mean, make Jesus Christ Bible your goal. I mean, make information your goal. I mean, make looking better your goal. I mean, make sure that what you're doing today is much better, and make that your goal. I mean, make your greatest vision being better than yourself every single day, and achieve it every single day. And you'll also understand to have greater confidence that way. You understand? So I'm always looking for a better aspect of life. I also have a light over here. I have a light, so I can go and do my content, and I can continue doing my content. But I understand that the moment is now. I have a 6 p.m. curfew every single day. I must be inside my accommodation. I understand, although that I'm just here doing my work. So I just do my work then. I understand that every single day I always have much more to do. I always have much more to be. I always have much more to say. I understand that today, in terms of public speaking, or else I never achieved the goal. In terms of, I never achieved that goal. Although I achieved a goal of public speaking. Although that's why I was crying. I was crying because other people did not allow me to public speak. You understand? I promise you, they took up my space. I realized they took up my space and they don't give a fuck about me and my public speaking. And that's why I was crying. I was crying because other people just don't care about my personal development. And they don't care about my growth. You understand? Whereas they care about their own growth, but not I. So guess what? I care about growing overall. In a sense, to realize, I just move away. I say, I don't need you people. You guys don't even get to deserve my content today. You guys don't get to deserve my nice, beautiful seminar that I do today. You can find it online. And if you don't like to watch it, I mean, guess what? You just missed out on all this information. You understand? And it's a beautiful sign of skills that I've given you already in this video. And that's what they miss out on. And I don't care about them because they don't follow me. You understand? So Jesus Christ doesn't care about you, and God doesn't care about you if you don't follow God. I promise you, it's that simple. So you are God's creation, so understand to follow God. I mean, you have to understand that whatever you are today is a sum up of everything that you've given. So understand every single day that you go and give more, you give more and give more. You understand why you know your I. You understand why you must be important. You must understand every single day I'm always developing my I. I don't care about them. I don't care about that crowd. But I understand why I was crying. I understand that it was raining outside. I understand God sent some rain today outside. Although I'm focusing on God inside. I understand, I realize that what's important is inside. I understand that the world outside is fixed like that. And it's always weather like that and everything. Although guess what? I realize what's never fixed is the information I give you. Because that's something that's growing. I realize rain is always going to be rain. And that's that. I realize rain's always rain. I mean, it doesn't improve. I mean, rain doesn't improve. I realize what is rain though? I realize rain can be sunshine too, when it's wisdom. You understand? I realize rainy days can be something amazing when it's a rainbow as well. You understand? Although guess what? I realize that it started to rain outside of me because why? It was because other people have taken up my spot. And they're not allowing me to do my content. So it started raining and God's saying, I'll send you some rain over here. And I started to cry too. And then I just moved away. Because then when I started to public speak somewhere else, which was and is a better spot, in this case, although no, I understand either way that I moved somewhere else so I can do my content anyway on a public speaking microphone. And that also in terms of the rain, God said, I sent you some rain, so guess what? You must go and move yourself and go to another direction. Because them, in terms of the other people who are also doing their content on the street, are also going to be doing it in the rain. Because God loves everything equally. And God says that since I cut out your nice beautiful content today, or else their ones are going to be cut out too. In a sense, so I'm always looking to see what God's saying about me, although God is inside and God is understanding every single day much more about life. And I promise you, God never stops learning. And I promise you, God's always learning. I promise you, God's always making sure that you have everything in wisdom and daily life to succeed. So I'm always making sure to succeed more and to succeed much greater and to have more of my life and to feel more fulfilled daily, because I understand I'm important. I understand you're important. I understand everybody's important. But guess what? I realize that when you go to a street performance and you give a public speaking talk, and out of 10,000 people, 2 people approach you only, and only stand around to watch you and to hear about you and to learn about your information. But when you hear a Mexicano or somebody with a music degree and they go and play some music or some beatboxing on the street mat, or somebody's just doing some entertaining on the street and they have a crowd that's standing around watching them, but you only have 1 or 2 or about 5 people who may actually approach you. How is that fair? How is it fair that you are just as good as them and they get the crowd's attention more than you? You're just as good. Is this content good for you? It's just as good as beatboxing on the street, isn't it? Although the beatboxer will get 50 people watching him and me, or else people just walk away from me. You understand? Or else people will just walk away from me and 2 people or 3 people may be inspiring, or else they may be inspiring in terms of my content. They may actually get a gist that this guy is something. So they may stand around to watch myself, in terms of they may stand around to watch I. So when they're inspired in terms of life, I understand I inspire them. So when I inspire somebody, I realize I inspire maybe 5 people who may come on the street and more than that, although I'm always inspiring. Although I understand that when a beatboxer goes on the street, I realize that individual has 30 people and more with them and watching them. I realize they create a nice scenario around the guy or woman. I realize around me, no. I realize around me, no. I mean, why? I mean, what's the difference between the beatboxer and my information? I mean, how is it fair? I mean, how is it fair that he gets 50 people around him and a crowd around him and not I? And not I. It's always I though. I'm saying, why is it fair on him that he gets 50 people around him and not I? It doesn't my content and my beautiful information here. I mean, what's the difference? I mean, that guy's beatboxing. I mean, is that guy teaching about life? I mean, is that guy teaching about business? I mean, is that guy teaching you Jesus Christ? Roshi, now, he's teaching Jesus Christ in a way that it's music and it's positive. Roshi, anybody can do that. Roshi, anybody can just be positive. Well, go teach Jesus Christ and go teach life and business and skills and assets. Roshi, that's something different. And go and public speak on the microphone. Alright, now, because the public speakers in terms of life who may go on the street, such as I may grab the attention of maybe 5 people and more who come and see I, to really, really dwell in I. Although a crowd, I can do that too. I can do that too all the time. I can do that too. Although it's really that you understand that he does it now, I do it now too. Whereas I'm not jealous. Although it's really a test to see where is your mindset? I mean, where is your mindset every single day? But guess what? I realize that when you're a public speaker and you inspire 5 people a day, for example, and let's just use it as an example, let's just use it as an example that you understand that when you go on the street, you inspire 5 or 1 to 10 people who may stand around throughout the 3 hours. I mean, 1 to 10 people may just stand around and just leave after 1 minute or something. And then a beatboxer on the street, you just arrive and there are 50 people right away around the guy or woman, or around the music guy, or the person who's playing amplified music really loud and professionally. I mean, my beautiful audio sound over here in terms of what I'm teaching you is just as good. I mean, how can you deny that? I mean, how can you deny that my audio is something less than somebody else's? I mean, how can you deny that? I mean, how can you deny that my information is worse than somebody else's? I mean, how can you deny that? You can never deny that. You understand? Although I understand this. I understand I do simplify information. I do make sure to go and choose other people more than others when I follow somebody. And I realize when I do that, I follow I. I follow I the most. I understand that when I get my information from resources, I go a certain direction to learn a certain aspect of life. And it means sometimes rejecting others to just make sure I can focus on myself more. In a sense, so realize this. I understand that there are many news channels going on today, although I make sure to block them all from my life. And why is that? I love them all. I love all of them because they're full of information to give me, although I have no time for that. I have time for I have time for I. Whereas now, you have to understand, I have time for information in other realms and somebody who's more interesting. I'll go listen to more interesting people. And now, is it honestly a way to understand that the beatboxer is more interesting than I? Probably no. Probably, although, why are they going to other people and not I? Because why? Or is it because they have a different sort of beliefs and they love to listen to something different that's not motivational? I mean, they love the beatboxer that's motivational, but not you. You get it? I mean, why is that fair? I mean, you're motivating people to live life much greater through words. But the guy's going, bong, chicka, bong, and bong, chicka, bong, bong. I mean, that's interesting for them. You understand? I mean, that's interesting. I promise you, it's interesting. I'm not denying that. Although, why isn't it not interesting for them to stand around I like that and have 50 people around I to watch I public speak and motivate them? I mean, why isn't it interesting in their life? You understand? So it's a different crowd, or this is a different crowd in a different time. In a sense, so realize either way that I deserve better than that. I deserve better than 50 people around me in life. I never have to ask you for an opportunity in my life because I have high worth. I have high self-worth every single day to understand that what I do daily is something great. I do something every single day that's going to help my life all the time. I understand that when I'm very fluent, I make sure I'm always more fluent than yesterday. I always make sure I've got something to do. I understand that I see many women today. I see most women, I see they're very beautiful. Or else they walk away and never talk to me. Or else that's how beautiful they are. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got the legs. I mean, they got the hair. I mean, they got the eyes and lips, but they're kissing another man. I mean, is that beautiful? I mean, it's not beautiful anymore. I mean, they got the booty. I mean, they got everything. I mean, they got this. I mean, they got the skin. I mean, they got the communication, but they go to somebody else for love. I mean, is that beautiful? I mean, it's not beautiful anymore. Not right. I mean, the crowd's always going to call them beautiful. I mean, they're beautiful people, but they're not coming to me. So, are they really beautiful? Or else they're not beautiful people. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the ones that are coming my direction are beautiful, and the ones that are pulling away from me are not beautiful. Whereas now, if you're coming and watching my content, you're beautiful. But if you're not interested in I and what I have to say, you then will never be beautiful for me, because I always find myself interesting. So if you don't find me interesting, you are then not beautiful for me. You understand? But it's never for me, or else it's for my I, or else it's I over me. So I understand that just because they have a woman with them, or else it doesn't mean that she's beautiful for me, because she believes that somebody else is more beautiful to have kids with than me. So she's not beautiful for me, and then I just go somewhere else. I love her equally. I love her just like I love you. I love everything, but I don't take offense to that. I don't be offended. I'm never offended. You understand? I'm always now. You understand? Or else if you say you're never offended in terms of I am, or else you'll never be offended. So I'm never the past. I'm always now. I make sure that every single day you understand that she has kids with somebody else. Or else that's not beautiful. Or else that's not beautiful. I mean, that's never beautiful for me. I mean, she shows me her kid. I mean, she has it with somebody else. I mean, that's not beautiful for me. Or else what's beautiful? Or else what is beautiful is that I have something like that. You understand? Or else what's beautiful is making sure you understand that when she has a kid with me, or else that's very beautiful. I mean, when she goes and has a kid with somebody else, or else that's not beautiful. Or else that's not beautiful for me. Or else for her, yeah. Or else for her, it's beautiful to have a kid with somebody else. Or else it's not beautiful for me. Or else am I against it? I'm not against them. I'm not against them. Or else they're just choosing somebody else over me. Or else that's not beautiful. Or else they're choosing somebody else to have kids with over Christ, Jesus. Or else that's not beautiful. I mean, they're choosing somebody else to have kids with over you. I mean, that's not beautiful. I mean, why is that beautiful? I mean, you feel rejected. I never feel rejected. I'm never rejected. I'm always now. Although guess what? You just never reject yourself. Or else it's like a rejection. In terms of, they're giving you a rejection of life. And they're saying that somebody else deserves a kid over you. I mean, I deserve a kid too. I mean, when they're walking together, I see people walking together. Or else that's not beautiful. Or else they're not walking my way. Or else they're walking their way. Or else they're not walking my way. Or else they're not walking my way. So they're not beautiful for me. I'm saying, or else what's beautiful is when a woman sits with me here. Or else she's beautiful. Or else that's beautiful. Or else when she sits with some other guy who's drinking drugs and doing alcohol, or else that's not beautiful, because she's sitting with something else in life, or else she's sitting somewhere else.
Yeah, like you see somewhere else.
You have to understand, I'm always talking about what's beautiful today. I'm making sure that every single day.
It's beautiful.
I understand. Thank you. Or else that's beautiful. Thank you. Or else now, you have to understand that. Or else that is beautiful. Or else she came to give me attention. Understand? But guess what? Or else she's gone now. Or else is that beautiful? Or else that's not beautiful. Or else that's not beautiful. I mean, why'd you go? I mean, why are you leaving? I mean, that's not beautiful. In a sense, to realize that she's going to have kids with somebody else. I mean, that's not beautiful. I mean, what's beautiful is making sure that you understand that those who follow you are beautiful, and those who don't follow you are never beautiful. Understand? Whereas those who make fun of you are not beautiful. Understand? So realize, you understand something. You have to understand that either way, that when it gets after 6 p.m, or else people start getting dodgy and start to cause criminality around you. So make sure you're in your accommodation before 6 p.m. In terms of 6 p.m. curfew, you must understand to have a 6 p.m. curfew. And from 6 p.m. to 10 a.m., I mean, just don't go in the nightlife. I realize there are too many egotistical people out there, and understand that you have something better to do every single day, because you've got Jesus Christ work to do, you've got some I work, you've got some self-development to do, rather than chasing other people who don't love you. So I'll see you guys in the next video.